This is Montreal Now with Aaron Rand and Natasha Hall. CJAD 800.
Time for another good guy doing good things. James Mennie of the Montreal Gazette. Hey, James.
Hey, I think I could make a T-shirt up like that.
Oh,
Just a good guy doing good things.
well, you know what?
You know?
That's who you are, my friend.
There you go. There you go.
You know.
So listen, I was so taken with our conversation yesterday, and your clear level of enthusiasm over who might be the next leader of the Quebec Liberal Party, as well as your interesting kind of tease, your suggestion that it may come from the federal level.
Mm-hmm.
I decided to do some shopping.
Okay, you went shopping.
I but it's 2022, so I do my shopping online.
I see.
And so what I did was I opened up the Liberal Party page for the Quebec caucus, looking for something to add to my cart, so to speak. And I came up with 2. And maybe 3, although I have to confess the third choice is more. It's something I have to do rather than based on any kind of logic. Mm-hmm. But let me start by saying I was looking around, figuring about where the Quebec Liberal Party is, and I think you may concur with this. I think a potential savior, if I can use that expression, is François-Philippe Champagne.
Definitely.
He is. He's got a lot of flight time in the private sector, big tech, and in fact, resource development. He's like 43. He's not. He's 50, 53, and he's got the credentials.
Oh yeah.
I got to tell you as well. What I found intriguing. He, like Geneviève Guilbeault, and like me, grew up in Greenfield Park.
Yeah, but you know where he's from now, where his family's from, and where he's an MP.
Well,
Shawinigan, my friend.
That way. In other words, he's deep in the heart of Texas.
There you go. And the spiritual son of Jean Chrétien.
Yes, who, despite what people would like to say about him, still managed to win Quebec, 4 times in a row?
Oh, yeah.
So there's that. The other item in my cart is, and you'll notice that my odds are getting longer with every name I throw out. And it would take, I guess, a certain set of circumstances. Mélanie Joly, who she's a Montrealer, but I got to tell you, she has the potential to surprise people.
She has rebuilt her image over the last few years, definitely.
Absolutely. I mean, listen, even from the get-go, her first foray into politics, it was Mélanie who. It was Melanie, the person who came in second, and not that far behind.
Nope.
In her first foray into politics when she ran for mayor of Montreal.
Yeah.
And she's and I've covered her. I've seen her in action. And guess what? Like you say, there's a reinvention. There are people who dismiss her, people who think that there's no substance there. But she has, in fact, reinvented herself, and I think she could be a good fit with a party like the Liberal Party in search of a leader. The only problem is, and yes, I'm going to say this out loud, women have a real problem in politics in Quebec, especially in leadership roles.
That is not untrue. Let's face it. From Pauline Marois to Dominique Anglade, I mean, let's face it. It's hard for women. It's harder.
There's a dynamic.
Yeah.
In leadership roles, it's great. We talk about, égalité des femmes, and, we have balanced cabinets, whatever. But the fact is, Quebec generally doesn't seem ready for a woman to be in charge of things. Maybe I hope I'm wrong. Maybe that'll change. But that's why she's got longer odds. The third name, and this is the personal one, okay, and I know you're going to raise your eyebrows over this one, and I would too. But I'll explain why I'm including the name, is Marc Garneau.
Whoa.
Who is, his downside is, I think he's 73 now. He's a bit old, and old. I mean, in terms of the demands of political life.
Well, everybody answers Joe Biden to that now.
Well, exactly, But the thing is, He can't be perceived as a Trudeauista.
No.
He ran against Trudeau for the leadership of the Liberal Party.
He did.
He seems to have been very shabbily thrown out of cabinet by the PMO.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any love lost between Captain Garneau and the regime in power in Ottawa right now. But that's the real reason why I throw him in there, David, because I said Captain Garneau. My dad enlisted in the Royal Canadian Navy when he was 16 years old. And I won't bore you with all the World War II stuff, but when he came back, he had this perception, which he passed on to his kids, that the Navy can do no wrong. So when I finally ended up living in NDG, I didn't even have to see Marc Garneau's platform when he was running as an MP, because all I needed to know is he's a retired captain, Royal Canadian Navy. Okay, he's got my vote. That's it. That's all. Although all that said, I will say I still think he does have certain qualities that could be a steadying hand. And guess what? He's Quebec City, and he's an astronaut. And you know what? That counts. Believe it or not, in this crazy world of politics, it's great to discuss how many sovereignists can dance on the head of a pin. But having done extraordinary stuff in the blood and guts and DNA of politics, that counts for something. But frankly, those are the only three items that I could find on my page.
Really? Because another one that is still hanging around and is still his name is still circulating is Quebec City MP Joel Lightbound.
You know why I left him out?
Why?
I got three little words for you. Toronto. Okay? No, I'm serious. That's where he comes from. I know he's utterly bilingual. But the fact is, if you're getting involved in Quebec politics, let's face it, David. In these parts, when we use the expression "pur laine," we're not talking about a fabric, okay? So I don't see how a party, which is the battered Quebec Liberal Party, which is already leaking water and listening severely to port, would say, I think the guy who will be immediately identified by our adversaries as an Ontario native is going to get us over the top. I know his name keeps coming up. It'll be interesting to see if he runs, and it'll be interesting to see what the reaction is between the political punditi and all the sort of observers and all the critics and all the sort of ready-made anti-liberal apparatus that exists in Quebec. I just think that he would be my biggest long shot.
And to end this last exchange of 2022, you want to take an utterly unsentimental look back at 2022?
It's very simple. You and I can talk to her blue in the face about all the things that happened. I have to say that as a Quebecer and a Canadian, I am spending the third year living in a jurisdiction of Canada that pioneered the and normalized violation of fundamental rights. Okay, people, we're not talking about, well, not at least not now. 2196. We'll be talking about those in the new year, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
But I still think there's a lot of people, perhaps our listeners among them, who say, "Well, listen, again, I know it's not right. I know it's illegal, but it doesn't really affect me." And my answer to that would be, if it doesn't affect you, it's simply because they haven't gotten around to you yet. The normalization of taking rights in the Charter and saying they do not apply here is dangerous. It's happened as well in Ontario. It's happened, and we're seeing, the madcap premier of Alberta essentially saying, we don't need your stinking federal laws here. This is Alberta.
Right.
Things are going down. Things are circling the ball very quickly. It's a bad situation to be in. We shouldn't forget that we're in it, and I hope, if nothing else, in 2023, that we finally get this settled, because right now it's very, very unhealthy for the country I live in.
Very, very important words to end on. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to speak with you, to listen to you throughout 2022, and I'm looking forward to continuing our conversation in 2023, my friend.
Well, all the best to you and the crew, Emily, Brian, the listeners. Have a great 2023, and let's hope it ends better than it starts.
Bonne année.
Toi aussi.
Merci. James Mennie of the Montreal Gazette.